Welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Bradley, and today I want to talk about Gateway Uprising. This is actually a game that's been around for a little while, but it's become one of my favorites. So here on the Board Game Closet, we rate games in dice: a green dice, a white dice, or a red dice. Green means you need to go get this, get your hands on it as soon as you can, and buy it. White means I'll play it if you've got it set up. And red means I want nothing to do with this game. For me, right off the bat, this is a green dice kind of game. I really enjoy it. I've enjoyed it every time I play it. But the catch is, this is definitely a game that you have to be careful who you play it with, because it is meaty in ways that maybe it shouldn't be, but I've really learned to love it. It is deck building, it has area control, it's got several ways that you can get victory points, and that's always good. And the best thing, of course, about deck builders is the market. In this game, there are so many different varieties of what this game calls insurgents that you can build into your army. You could not put all of them out to play with one game, because that would make too many to choose from. That also may be a bad thing about the game, but for us and my group, it's made it to where every game can be different, and every strategy you bring to the game changes. So, for instance, you can just scroll through it on the back of the rule book. It actually has scenarios that you can set up and use. For us, we played through several, and then we kind of got a good feel for the cards that we wanted to play with. So then we created the game that we wanted to play. And since we started doing that, I liked it before, and I love it now. So basically, how you play the game is you start out with a city, and this city is broken up into different quadrants. You are an insurgent, rebellious army, and you are recruiting people from the market to put in your army so that you can take over each quadrant from the city guard. Now, what ends up happening at the end of every round is an event, and usually events means that monsters that come from outside of the city come into the city and fight, whether it be city guards or your army, whoever is in that place. And then if you have any more than 3 monsters per quadrant, that quadrant gets flipped over and turns into ruins. Any more than 3 ruins, and the game's over. You've lost. So each quadrant, every time you take it over, you get a different bonus. For instance, this one is exile up to 3 cards from your discard pile. In a deck builder, that is the best strategy, right? You got to get the trash cards out of your deck. So like a good deck builder, again, whatever's in your hand, you have to play or you discard at the end of your turn. All heroes or insurgents are left out to make up your army. And then you also have support cards that can buff up what you do each turn. The absolute greatest thing about the game, though, is the artwork. Sean Andrew Murray did the art on this, and I follow him on his socials, and he is always putting out great stuff in this Gateway world. I know that there's rich lore in everything that you look at. Everything you look at, you could follow back. I'm sure there's some rich, deep backstory. And that's what I love about the game, because I can tell. Like, you can just tell by looking at, I want to know what this guy's doing. I don't want to know what she's doing. I want to know what that house is like, or that factory, and so on and so forth. The monsters in this game are so gnarly. Like, it's just, everything is great to look at. And there's monsters in here that are easy to take out, but then there's also monsters that just scare you to death because you don't know how you're going to defeat them. But then you come up with the best strategy, and it feels so good to be able to take them out and take over the city for your own and get, a few victory points here, a few victory points there. Maybe some downsides about the game is, depending on how many players you have, sometimes it can linger a little too long. Maybe there's one too many more events than what you'd like to have. But again, for me and my group, we've made it a game that we really enjoy, and there's no way that any other game hits the notes that this one does. So for me, this is definitely a green dice. But honestly, I cannot talk highly enough about it. I think you need to go check it out. It's been around a while. Simon puts it out. It's by Fish Wizard Games. It's called Gateway Uprising. The play time on it, I think on the box it's 60 minutes. I would expect about an hour and a half. I would expect about 90 minutes just because there is so much meat to get through on this game. But by the time by the time the game is over, you'll have fallen in love with your army. You'll be excited from your strategy. You'll be afraid of the monsters. You'll be ready to take out some city guards. It's just this whole experience. Every time you turn over an event card, you're always biting your nails because you're nervous of what's coming. So yeah, definitely check it out. That's Gateway Uprising. My name's Bradley, and thanks for stopping by.